46.
Motion in limine?
Correct.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I put you and Ms. Hilton on a forward. So I just forwarded to this honorable court and Ms. Hilton.
We've not yet had an opportunity to review this. We would ask the court to allow us an opportunity to even review it before we even begin addressing it. So if we could,
Can I just finish?
if we could have an opportunity to review anything that is being addressed with the court before it's even addressed, so that we can at least be in a position to respond when it is our time to do so, Your Honor.
Okay.
We would gladly, greatly appreciate that opportunity before we begin addressing whatever the motion in limine is.
I'm addressing this honorable court. I'd like to just educate the court and the parties.
All right.
May I continue?
Yes, continue.
So these are exhibits that were served on this past Thursday by the state, and some of the exhibits include statements of witnesses that are not on witness lists. It would be a confrontation clause issue, hearsay issue. One of the exhibits is Detective Kirkman. He's a very, very fine person. He's been with the City of Atlanta Police for over 20 years probably. And pursuant to this court's order, and I appreciate it, we appreciate it, and Ms. Hilton arranged it. I spoke with him via telephone in January 2024. He recorded that call. It's his body camera. So you see him and you hear his voice and my voice. And the interview is about 10 minutes, but now it's an exhibit we were never served with. I have no problem with the interview, but this brings me into my next issue, which is not in writing, but I could put it in writing if you want. But it seems like a member of the prosecution team is constantly trying to attempt to interject lawyer, either me, mostly me, sometimes Mr. Adams, maybe other counsel, I don't want to speak for them, into this process, which is not, it's a denial of Mr. Williams' right to counsel. It is an unsworn witness rule violation. It's a due process violation or fair trial, constitutional violation, because what it does is it causes the jurors not to look at the lawyers like a conduit of information and an advocate, but now they're racing credibility. And the examples I'm giving is right when we started this case, the prosecutor making an opening statement for the state put up an exhibit that was seen by the jurors. It was up. That's how I knew to object to it. In violation of the court's order to share all PowerPoints or exhibits that are going to be shown in opening statement. It says Brian Steele represented wrongly Mr. Ryan and Mr. Blaylock on appeal currently. The court, I made a motion for mistrial. The court denied it, but made the prosecution go back and redo and share their demonstrative and opening statement. There was a recent comment by the Honorable Mr. Adams saying that what Mr. Adams said on cross, that these drugs were stolen unbeknownst to Mr. Williams, and he was paying back the stolen property to Ms. Bennett. And the lawyer for the prosecution announced in front of the jurors that that's not true, meaning Mr. Adams is not being truthful, and there's no witness to state that. There has been constant, did you interview with Brian Steele? Did you speak with Keith Adams? Which is what we're supposed to do, but the jurors don't know that. The court's never instructed, although I've asked, that is the proper protocol for a lawyer representing a person, God forbid, charged with a crime. There was Trontavia Stevens. Did Brian Steele meet with you at the jail? I've never represented Mr. Stevens. I didn't even remember ever meeting with him at the jail. There's a jail meeting, and then asked what was that about, which was nothing. He was asking about a probation revocation, but it looks sinister. The court allowed that over objection.
Well, it goes to the witness's potential bias or motive to misrepresent. For example, if they talk to you, if a witness for anybody talks to the proponent and won't talk to the other side, that's a weight issue that the jury can decide. So, of course, I'll give the jury an instruction as to witness credibility and everything, but so
that meeting with Mr. Stevens, I don't know if you realize this, was in 2021, according to what the state gave me after he left the scene. They couldn't pull up because Odyssey was down. They said they didn't have any notes of it and they didn't remember what date. That's before this case ever occurred. That doesn't go to bias. That's just trying to impugn a lawyer and inject a lawyer. Same thing with, did Brian Steele stop the tape recording in front of you from Mr. Bean, which is outrageous. No evidence of it whatsoever. Now
Remember, what you all say is not evidence. I'm going to give the jury instruction on that. So I think we've kind of covered this stuff already, Mr. Steele. So to the extent that I mean, I think some of it's premature in the sense that what I'll instruct the jury on and how they're to consider it. But you've made this issue before, so.
But how's my interview with Detective Kirkman? You should listen to it. It's about 10 minutes. How's that coming into evidence?
I'm sorry.
Why does that come into evidence?
I don't know.
That has a chilling effect on a lawyer's work.
I don't know. I'll ask Ms. Love in just a second.
Well, that's what my motion did. In addition to that,
is that Williams 45 or Williams 46?
they're combined. It's in 45, but they're both targeting these new exhibits. Most of them, some of them, were never served in discovery at all. There's new witness that was never on the witness list in April. I mark it out to try to make everybody, and I heard what the prosecutor said, that she needs more time. I'm not trying to argue it. I just want to alert the court because we all want to streamline the case, not waste time. So I know that if Detective Kirkman's called, you're going to say to me rightly, why didn't you raise this before? I'm raising it. I'm alerting the court. I put it in writing as well.
Well, when did you interview Kirkland?
January 2024.
Okay, well then it's April the 8th of 2024, almost 3 months ago.
Yeah, I don't understand the question.
I don't understand your inquiry. I mean, you had 3 months. Why not put it in a motion at that point in time and let me hear it before then?
I see what you're saying. I'm not explaining myself well. I did not know that Detective Kirkman recorded me. I don't care he recorded me, but I did not know. It was not served in discovery. It was not given to us until this past Thursday, and it's the last exhibit.
I understand.
So, I raised it as soon as I was put on notice of it. So I hope that clears up.
That clears that up.
Your question. And also, Judge, it just goes to, you say I raised it before, you'll give instructions. Lawyers are not supposed to be sitting here and be made part of the case. That's why, and I know you limited me to say, hey, I read everything. I got, what you put in writing about the unsworn witness motion we argued last week. So I respect the court, and I argued. You said, tell me what there is that cannot substitute another witness to testify to it. But the truth is, and my motion went to, and I know you read it, I know you got it, but the case law isn't, can another witness? It's injecting the lawyer into the proceedings. So the jurors have to now not only say, what did the lawyer's information bring out, but what do I think of that lawyer? What do I think of the lawyer's believability? And I know you didn't want to hear that. I didn't do it in oral argument. I know it's all preserved in writing, but that's what happened here. And that's what the state is doing by injecting constantly, like a Mr. Adams asked a question that's untruthful. You can't do that. That's not an objection. That is trying to cut the legs out from the lawyer and putting your own spin on it. Same thing with everything that I mentioned. And I'm not saying I mentioned everything. I was just giving examples. So I don't want any more of lawyers being involved in the case, because it's really distasteful under the Constitution, because it denies, it's about Mr. Williams receiving a fair trial. It's not about him having his lawyer go back and the jurors say, oh, well, I don't believe the lawyer, so therefore I'm going to rule against Mr. Williams. Or I believe the lawyer, and therefore I'm going to rule with Mr. Williams. That credibility determination should not be made. And it's been put in issue directly by the prosecution being an unsworn witness, regardless of another witness being able to take the mantle of the witness stand. It's injecting, I did this, you told me this. That's why all of the cases renouncing said, don't do it. especially if you're the prosecutor. Anyway, I just want to highlight what I'm doing. So the court, happy judge, I think the quote is an
Oh,
informed judge.
a forewarned judge is a happy judge.
Okay, well,
A happier judge.
okay, well, I'm trying to heed the cry. But anyway, that's the issues.
All right, thank you, sir.
No, thank you.
All right, Ms. Lover, Ms. Hilton.
Judge, I'll take it. Go ahead. Again, Your Honor,
What's the
I believe
purpose
that
of
this
the,
is
of the
premature.
tape of Kirkland,
Your Honor,
Steele?
what I did and what I informed the court and the parties that I would be doing was to provide all of the possible exhibits. And I just want to also supplement that with the fact that I did send a link to a video that I didn't include in the PowerPoint, but that is also potentially an exhibit. These are potential exhibits, Your Honor. As the court said, a forewarned judge is a happy judge. So we sent them the potential universe of exhibits that we anticipated needing to use for any reason, impeachment, any reason, so that they cannot say we did not know. We don't have them numbered as exhibit numbers because we don't know if we're even going to need to put them in. But as it relates to the interview that Mr. Steele conducted of Investigator Kirkman, Mr. Steele himself conducted that interview and we knew nothing of it. Investigator Kirkman told us just previously to him being called in last week or week before that he recorded it. And so we served it on him because he recorded it and gave it to us. So we gave it to him. It's a statement of a witness, albeit a statement he made to Mr. Steele. So I think that this entire motion in limine is a bit premature. One, we've just seen it, but two, we've not tendered any of these items. This is just a list that we can say, hey, you've seen it. It's on slide A, B, C, or D, so that we can facilitate the smooth execution of the trial. As it relates to the notion that it somehow makes Mr. Steele a witness in the
That's what I was
case.
going to ask you. Are you going to
Judge.
ask Detective Kirkland anything about the Strickland interview? If you're not, then it's not a discussion.
I have no idea what they're going to say to Detective Kirkman. I have no idea whether Detective Kirkman says something different than what he says in the interview. In that instance, it may be necessary to put Detective Kirkman's words in, and I don't know, it may even be necessary to complete them with Mr. Steele's, but that doesn't make Mr. Steele a witness. Mr. Steele stating that did not happen from his seat during my examination of a witness makes Mr. Steele a witness, and he did that twice in response.
Remember, what lawyers say is not evidence. So.
Exactly, Your Honor.
And so, anyways,
And so
but
that's,
still.
that's the point.
Anything
that we're
else?
making. And anything else, we'd ask to be allowed the opportunity to at least read the motion in limine. But as it relates to the
It's not very
PowerPoint.
long. It's not very long.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, is your witness here, Ms. Bennett here?
One of them will be here in a few minutes because we've already had one on the way.
Right.
She's not here. But I did alert the court as to my.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Yeah, absolutely. Judge. I'm gonna be showing jurors. So I can't get the camera off. Just, showing the jurors.
Hey, Wes, can we get the
First floor.
camera off? Say again? Want me to ask Bill how to do it?
Yeah.
Why don't you call Bill? Okay. Okay.
She's going straight to voicemail. She's going straight to voicemail. But no, it's ringing now.
She's supposed to be bringing me down some water, so.
Hey, you downstairs? No. Hold on. Before you come, I need you to turn the camera off. It's the one, PTZ1. It's showing the jury. Yeah, it's going to be showing the jurors. You can see me leaning across the witness stand now. There you go. Just did. Hold on. Yeah, that's good right there. Thank you. All right. She took care of it, Wes. Thank you.
Who is this from? Dane Husky? Dane Husky.
Now, if that's the only one in the whole transfer, I didn't. Of course, now suddenly later I'm gonna come out in mine.
Yeah, that Mr. Husky. Yeah.
You guys sent him a copy.
After touch. I think we're gonna do that as well. Same thing. Folks, we're just gonna recess in place, okay?
We have.
Well, hold on, we don't have a court reporter, so can we just wait a second? All right. All right, Sergeant Ingram, all our jurors present?
Yes, sir.
All right, summon our jurors, please. Oh, hold on. Wait, before I do that. Is Ms. Bennett? Okay, let's go ahead and bring Ms. Bennett back in, please. Madam, do you know you're not, Madam Camera Person? You know you're not supposed, okay, all right. Come on up, madam. All right, Sergeant Ingram, summon our jurors, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right, thank you, Sergeant Ingram. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, welcome back and good morning. Good morning. All right. Without further delay, we're going to continue with the presentation of the state's case. Ms. Bennett, welcome back, and you're still under oath, okay?
Okay.
All right. And you'll need to speak into the microphone, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. And good morning, Ms. Bennett. Ms. Bennett, when you last spoke on March the 29th, I asked you a series of questions regarding your meeting on February the 9th of 2024 with Lieutenant Hamilton. Do you recall those questions or some of them?
Nah.
Ms. Bennett, I'm going to show you what has been already marked and admitted as State's Exhibit 34 Alpha Alpha. And ask you if you recall us talking about the messages that are in 34 Alpha Alpha.
Yes.
So if you need to refresh your memory with anything as it relates to 34 Alpha Alpha, would you let me know?
Okay.
Okay? So, Ms. Bennett, the last thing that I asked you on Friday, March the 29th was on February the 9th, around 6:06 p.m., you received a message from Lieutenant Hamilton stating that it was good seeing you and meeting your board. Enjoy the night. Is that accurate? I believe page 4 that I think we have in your hand.
Yes.
All right. Now, as we go along, would you please tell me if you recall messages that either were sent or received to you or by you that you don't see reflected in here? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. And February the 9th, was a date that occurred after you had already come and met me in the courtroom or in the hallway outside the courtroom, right?
Yes.
And when you met Lieutenant Hamilton was accompanied by ADA Christian Atkins during the time that you all spent talking, is that correct?
Repeat it.
When you spoke with Lieutenant Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
he was accompanied by ADA Christian Atkins as well as your boys, is that correct?
Later.
And would that be about 5 or 10 minutes later after you had gotten there?
15.
15 minutes? Ma'am?
15.
Okay, and that's 15 minutes?
Yes.
You were there for about 15 minutes. Now, and that was meeting at the restaurant that you asked him to meet you at, as opposed to the coffee shop you all were initially supposed to meet at, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Testimony, Your Honor.
I stand in objection.
Let me rephrase. Were you all supposed to meet at a restaurant? I'm sorry, at a coffee shop prior to your deciding or writing the question, can you meet me at the restaurant?
Both.
And were you all supposed to meet at that coffee shop about 2 hours before you sent Lieutenant Hamilton the text, can you meet me at the restaurant?
Yes.
And did you ever show up at the coffee shop?
No.
Were you aware that people were waiting for you at the coffee shop?
Yeah, he was.
Were you aware that other persons with the district attorney's office were waiting for you?
I'm gonna object to
No, they weren't.
Hold on. I stand in objection.
Were you told that other people were waiting for you as
objection to
well?
hearsay.
I stand as to form.
Have you met Assistant Chief Investigator Mike Green?
Who?
Mike Green.
I don't recall who that is.
But you have met ADA Christian Atkins, correct?
This him?
Yes. Have you met
Yes.
him?
Yes.
And he was the young man who met with you at the restaurant with Lieutenant Hamilton, is that correct?
Yes.
Was there any reason that you wanted to meet at the restaurant versus the coffee shop that you had told them you would meet at earlier?
No, I wasn't going to the coffee shop because when I talked to him, I told him I didn't drink coffee. We always made plans to go to the restaurant.
And that was before or after the 2-hour delay?
Before.
Did you tell him you were going to be 2 hours late?
No, I was trying not to show up.
Did you know that ADA Christian Atkins was going to be joining you all at the restaurant?
No.
And when you got to the restaurant and ADA Christian Atkins spoke with you, did you all speak at an adjoining table to the one where Lieutenant Hamilton sat with your sons?
Yeah, we had sat at a different table.
After Lieutenant Hamilton met with you, you all made plans to meet on Sunday at 9:30 a.m., didn't you?
Yes.
And that was to speak with ADA Christian Atkins and Lieutenant Hamilton again, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
When you say you're not sure, tell the jury what it is, which part of it you're not sure about.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to meet with him. Atkins.
Do you recall speaking about meeting with him, with Lieutenant Hamilton, before you all left the restaurant?
No, I talked to Atkins separate from Lieutenant Hamilton.
As you all got ready to depart ways, you and members of the DA's office, do you not recall speaking
I'm
with
gonna object to the testimony,
anyone?
Your Honor.
I I stand the objection.
Did you speak with anyone about meeting at 185 Central Avenue the following Sunday at 9:30 a.m.?
No.
Did you show up at 185 Central Avenue, the courthouse, on Sunday at 9:30 a.m.?
No.
On Saturday, February the 10th, at 9:11 p.m., did you receive a text message from Lieutenant Hamilton asking you, again, where am I meeting you at 8:30?
Yes.
And on Sunday, February the 11th, did you get a text message from Lieutenant Hamilton saying, can I get an 8:30 a.m. location to meet?
Yes.
Am I accurate that you did not meet with any other members of the district attorney's office on either February the 10th or February the 11th?
Yes.
Is it accurate that you told members of the DA's office that you had church and that you set the schedule for the times you all were supposed to meet?
Yes.
Is it accurate that on February the 22nd, you received a text message from Lieutenant Hamilton saying checking on you?
Yes.
And is it accurate that on March the 13th, you received a text message from Lieutenant Hamilton saying, hey, call me please, ma'am?
Yes.
Did you receive a text message from Lieutenant Hamilton saying, good morning, tell me a good time to call you for about 10 minutes? I know you have someplace to go today. And did you receive that on March the 18th at 7:34 a.m.?
Yes.
Did you receive another text message from Lieutenant Hamilton on March the 20th saying, I need you to call me. We need to meet with you tomorrow?
Yes.
Did you understand the we to be Lieutenant Hamilton and 88 Atkins?
No.
Who did you understand the we to be?
I don't know.
Did you receive a text message from Lieutenant Hamilton on March 20th at 6:43 p.m. saying, reminder, tomorrow at 1 p.m., let me know when you get there?
Yes.
On Sunday, March the 24th at 8:22 p.m., did you get a message from Lieutenant Hamilton saying, hey, I've been guaranteed you will be the first up Tuesday. Please arrive between 8 and 8:30 at 185 Central Avenue outside courtroom 1C. Please let me know when you arrive.
Yes.
And on Tuesday, March the 26th at 8:21 a.m., did you get a message from Lieutenant Hamilton saying, good morning, are you here?
Yes.
And on Tuesday, March 26th, 8:41 a.m., did you receive a message from Lieutenant Hamilton saying, I'm going to need you to respond, Ms. Bennett. You are the day's first witness.
Yes.
And did you receive a text message from Lieutenant Hamilton on Tuesday, March 26th at 9:11 a.m. saying, we do not want to have the judge sign a material witness warrant for you. You don't need that headache. I know you said you don't care, but again, don't need that headache. We're about to start soon. I need you to reply back ASAP. Did you receive that text message?
Yes.
Do you recall receiving a telephone call the night before that on Monday, confirming with Lieutenant Hamilton and 88 Atkins that you would be at court at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday, March the 26th?
No,
You do not recall getting that phone call?
no,
Do you recall responding to Lieutenant Hamilton's text message from 9:11 a.m. saying we don't want to have the judge sign a material witness warrant for you? Do you recall responding to him not until 8:06 p.m. on Tuesday, March the 26th?
yes,
Do you recall telling him, well, I was in an accident. I'm just now leaving the hospital. Like I said, I don't give a fuck if they lock me up. What that going to do? Shit. So you can get the judge to call me too, because they're about to see some more of their attorney be on the news or in jail too for sexual harassment. Please do.
yes.
Okay. Ms. Bennett, is there any text message that you sent or received that is not reflected in this exhibit?
I'm not sure, but one thing I do know is the text messages on this paper that you're showing me, they from 2 different phones, if you know that too.
Thank you for pointing that out for the jury. So tell the jury the last 4 digits of the phone numbers from the first set of text messages and the last 4 digits of your phone number for the last set of text messages.
The last ones, when he texted me, send my court, I think that's 6024
And the first set,
4983.
and Ms. Bennett, is it fair to say that over the years you have consistently carried more than one cell phone?
No,
Is it your testimony that this period of time is the only time that you have ever carried more than one cell phone?
yeah, my 4983 number went out, and I told him that I wasn't gonna have that phone, so that's when I had the 6024. That's when he would text him to call.
Did you still have the 4983 telephone?
No, it was broken.
Had you given it to someone else, or did you still have the phone itself?
It was broken.
I understand it was broken. Was it broken in your possession, or was it broken a fixer of the phone? Did you still have the physical phone?
It was broken. Like, yeah, it was my phone. It was broken.
Okay, thank you. Now, Ms. Bennett, am I accurate that the first time you mentioned anything about harassment in a text message or a telephone call was after Lieutenant Hamilton told you he was going to have to get a material witness warrant for you?
No,
Ms. Bennett, when did you first mention that?
over the phone.
To whom?
Him.
What did you say to him?
I can't recall our conversation.
You don't have to recall it verbatim. What did you say? Generally.
That's what I'm saying. I can't recall. I don't remember what I said to him. I been had said this, like it wasn't through a text message or something over the phone. It been happening a while.
I'm sorry, say that last sentence.
Yeah.
Say the last sentence. Text message.
Yeah, all for a while.
And Ms. Bennett, to be clear, your assertion about harassment was not in any way connected to an allegation regarding your home being shot up in 2013, was it?
Repeat it.
Your assertion and allegation about harassment had nothing to do with a report from 2013 that your home had gotten shot up.
No, I've been saying that I was being harassed. I was saying that to Mr. Long as well. If you go back to the other text message too, if that's what you're talking about, have I been saying it? Yeah.
Were you saying it in 2013?
I don't know what I was saying in 2013.
Did you know?
I didn't know you.
From this office that you've interacted with during this case, did you know any of us in 2013?
No.
So is it fair to say then that in 2013, there was no Lieutenant Hamilton doing anything, calling, harassing, texting, or anything to you?
No,
And is it fair to say that there have been no communication between you and any of the current staff of the district attorney's office in 2013 when your home had gotten shot?
not that I recall.
And by not that you recall, you mean no, you had not gotten any or had any kind of communication between any of them.
I don't think so.
Mr. Adams asked you on cross-examination whether, about a person named Buck Buck. Were you familiar with Buck Buck?
No,
Do you recall getting on February the 6th, Tuesday, February the 6th, at 5:46 p.m., a voice text from Lieutenant Hamilton? And if you'll just look on page 2 of the document in front of you.
yes,
Do you recall what that voice text said?
I think it was some stating to court, if I'm mistaken, because I had talked to him on the phone.
It was something, what now?
Stated to court.
Saying come to court?
No, it was something about court.
About court?
Hmm.
Did you get any other voice texts from Lieutenant Hamilton that are not reflected on this document?
I'm not sure.
Would you recall if you did?
I know I received more than one, but I don't see them, but I think they were still stating to court.
They were still talking about court?
Yeah, I think so.
And which phone were they sent on?
4983.
And since you still have that phone, would you be able to find that voice text on that phone?
Probably not.
Why not?
No, I'm not sure. I should, if it was sent at this time.
And when you're saying at this time, are you referring to the voice text sent on February the 6th at 5:46 p.m.?
Yes,
So if there were any others, would they also be on that phone?
yes,
And if there are any others, would you let us know at some later time?
yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state would like to play what we will label as State's Exhibit 34 Alpha Alpha Bravo, which has already been tendered as a part of State's Exhibit 34 Alpha Alpha, which is the voice text that is referenced in this exhibit.
Any objection to states 34 as Alpha Alpha?
Your Honor, it's hearsay, and I'll object.
Your Honor, we tendered it at the prompting.
The fact that it's been tendered doesn't make it any less hearsay, it's hearsay. That's
Your
not-
Honor,
Whose phone call is it?
Your Honor, it was Lieutenant Hamilton's phone call that Mr. Adams said they had no objection.
I'm objecting to the hearsay.
We
That's your
tendered it,
objection now.
and it was admitted as evidence.
I'm sorry.
If I may finish.
The exhibit may be in, but it still has hearsay within it, which is not admissible. The fact that it's been admitted as an exhibit does not make that portion admissible. That's my objection.
Your Honor, behold,
He's correct. I'm going to go ahead and I'll sustain the objection.
Ms. Bennett, while we were speaking earlier, you talked about your apartment, 980 Confederate Avenue, apartment D, facing Confederate Avenue. Did I get that correct, or am I wrong?
Yes,
And so the name of the apartments that you lived in was Trestle Tree Apartments, is that right?
yes,
And Trestle Tree Apartments had going through the center of it, in the section that you lived in, Confederate Court, is that accurate?
yes,
And Confederate Avenue was the main street that was perpendicular to Confederate Court, is that accurate?
yes.
Now, when you talked about the building being shot in 2013, is it accurate that no bullet holes went through your front door?
I don't recall none going through my front door.
Is it accurate that the bullet hole that went through your window came from the Confederate Court side of the street?
It couldn't have.
Say that again.
It could have.
Could not or could?
Couldn't.
Okay. Tell me why.
My building sit on the street on Confederate Ave. Confederate Court, when you turn in, that means they have to go through 3, 4, 5 buildings to get to that building.
Ms. Bennett,
It's impossible.
Ms. Bennett, do you remember a building 988 Confederate Court to the immediate right of 980 Confederate Avenue when you lived in those apartments?
Building who?
988 Confederate Avenue.
I don't know what building next to me, to my right. I don't know the address.
All right, I'm going to show you what I will label as State's Exhibit 44A, that is 44 Alpha Alpha, 45 Alpha Alpha, and 46 Alpha Alpha. Your Honor, these are demonstratives that we have provided in the exhibit list that we have provided to the defense and the court, and they are on slides.
Counsel, any objections?
They are on slides 41, 42, and 43, Your Honor.
Any objection to states 44 alpha, 45 alpha, 46 alpha?
Yes, Judge, I've got a slide. I'm trying to see what those correspond to.
Sure.
Slides, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm
Any
showing,
objections, sir?
No, sir.
All right, states 44 alpha alpha, 45 alpha alpha, and 46 alpha alpha are admitted may be shown to the witness or published as you see fit.
Your Honor, we hadn't tendered them yet. We were actually just approaching the witness to ask if she recognized.
He's already said that they're admitted now, so.
Okay. Ms. Bennett, do you recognize the area shown on the Google Maps images in 44 Alpha Alpha?
Yes.
45 Alpha Alpha.
They're like the same thing.
And 46 Alpha Alpha.
I don't know which one that is. I said, I don't know which one that is.
Ms. Knight, would you please place on the screen 44, 45, and 46 alpha alpha in turn? Ms. Bennett, since you said that you do recognize 44 alpha alpha, would you agree with me that 44 alpha alpha is the entrance to Trestle Tree Apartments?
Yes,
Okay. And the building on the corner of what is now Trestle Tree Court and United Avenue is building 988, isn't that correct?
which one? Because I don't know.
The building on the corner here, that's building 988, isn't it?
I don't know.
Let's look at State's Exhibit 45 Alpha Alpha. And Ms. Knight, if you could just zoom in. Are you able to better see?
Yes, but I still can't see the numbers.
Let's look at, and take attention to this building to the left of the building on the corner where the hand is. You see that bush on the corner of the building to the left? Ms. Knight, would you put the hand over the bush on the corner of the, no ma'am, to the left of the, yes. You see that bush?
Yes,
Ms. Knight, would you zoom in on that bush? As close as you can. All right. And now go to Space Exhibit 46 Alpha Alpha. And would you zoom in on the numbers behind that bush in Space Exhibit 46 Alpha Alpha? Ms. Bennett, would you agree with me that in 46 Alpha Alpha, your building is reflected as being next to building 988?
no,
Can you see that this is building 980 or not?
no,
You cannot?
no.
Okay. And in State's Exhibit 45 Alpha Alpha, would you zoom in on the street signs? Miss Bennett, can you see, and if you need to go over a little bit more, can you see that one is Confederate going in one direction and one is Confederate going in towards Trestle Tree?
Yes,
Okay. Ms. Bennett, do you recall any part of what your building looks like in 2013?
no,
But you do remember that it was 980 Confederate.
F, not correct.
Remember that?
Yeah,
And showing me once more State's Exhibit 1 Alpha Alpha. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 1 Alpha Alpha as 980 Confederate Ave?
no.
You don't recognize it? You need some more time to look at it? You still holding it? You don't need any more time? You just don't recognize it? Ms. Bennett, did you ever provide any hospital information to any member of the district attorney's office?
No,
Is there any reason that you did not provide any information when you did appear in court as you were summoned to do on March the 26th?
it wasn't asked.
Did you call them and let them know before 9 p.m. that you had been hospitalized and couldn't make it?
I don't recall the time.
When you say you don't recall the time, what do you mean?
I don't know what time it was when I let him know.
Did you call them at any time while you were in the hospital?
No,
What time did you get to the hospital?
I'm not sure.
What hospital did you go to?
Uh, uh, Piedmont.
Do you have any records or anything like that showing that you were at Piedmont?
Yes,
Okay. And where are they?
they're not here.
Did you offer them to the officers who came to arrest you for not appearing in court on March the 26th?
No, they ain't asked me none of that.
Did they tell you why you were being arrested?
No, they were just being very aggressive.
They were being very aggressive.
Yeah,
How are they being very aggressive?
because when I let them in, the lady like was trying like how she was holding me and stuff, and I ain't have on no clothes, and I kept asking them, "Can I put my clothes on?" And it was like men in the room and stuff when I was trying to get dressed, and I kept asking her respectfully, like, "So you just gonna let him stand right there and look at me?" But she was just being a butthole, like, but that's how Clayton County is. And then when I came out, I kept discussing, asking her like what I'm being detained for. She kept just saying, "You got a warrant," and I kept saying, "For what?" She just said, "You got a warrant," and I said, "For what?" She said, "You got a warrant," and she kept saying the same thing, and they would never show me anything. Like they ain't show me nothing, like no paper, nothing on the phone. And that's when I came out and seen Hamilton, and they were just smiling and high-fiving and stuff like that.
And did you ever inquire with anyone what you were supposed to do when you didn't show up to court on March the 26th?
No one told me nothing.
I'm sorry, say that again.
No one told me nothing.
Did you provide anyone with anything?
No one asked me to.
Did you go to the hospital on March the 26th, the morning you were supposed to appear in court?
Yes,
What kind of accident did you have?
it wasn't me. It was a family member. It was a family matter.
So it was not you.
No,
So you were not harmed?
no.
So was there anything keeping you from reaching out to any member of the DA's office to say, "I cannot come to court"?
I did reach out
Okay. How?
by phone.
When? Was it before or after court was over that day?
I don't know if court was over. I don't know what time it was, but I let them know. And then the next day, I was detained.
Now, did you reach out to the court or to anyone besides whomever it is that you say you reached out to?
No, I don't know how to reach out to the court.
And how did you reach out to a member of the DA's office and say you weren't going to do it?
If I knew how to reach out to the court, when I've been sent him that text, when I said I wanted to call the judge, I would have called him, but I didn't know who the judge was or who to reach out to. So it was on Lieutenant Hamilton because he the only person that I supposed to talk to. At least that's what he told me.
You have my number. Did you reach out to me?
No, I don't have your number anymore.
Now, the text message that you sent at 9:00 p.m. on March the 26th to Lieutenant Hamilton at 8:06 p.m. saying, "Well, I was in an accident. I'm just now leaving the hospital." That was the first time you mentioned being in an accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was 8:06 p.m., right?
I don't know what time.
If I show you the exhibit, will it refresh your memory?
Yes, it say 8:06.
8:06 p.m.
Yes,
on March the 26th. But it wasn't you that was in the accident, as you said in your text, correct?
I didn't say it in my text, but yeah.
Would you read your text for the jury?
They say, well, I was in an accident. I'm just not leaving the hospital. Like I said, I don't give a fuck if they lock me up. So can you get the judge to call me? Because, can you get the judge to call me? Cause they about to see, more of their attorneys on the news are in jail for sexual harassment. Please do.
Now, what attorney were you talking about?
Him?
You knew he was not an attorney, correct?
You said that I know he was not an attorney.
Correct.
I'm not sure what he is.
You have been calling him Lieutenant Hamilton, correct?
No,
What have you been calling him?
attorney. That's what I thought it was.
You didn't recall hearing or reading his text that says this is Lieutenant Hamilton?
No.
After 2013, when was the last or the next time that you had any interaction whatsoever with Jeffrey Williams?
You said what?
After 2013, when was the last time that you had any interaction with Jeffrey Williams?
I can't recall.
In 2013, you said that he and your child's father were friends.
Yes,
Were they both affiliated with sex, money, murder?
I can't tell you that. They can.
Were you affiliated with sex, money, murder?
No,
Did you ever call yourself or answer to the title First Lady?
no,
Did you ever go by the title Lady LV?
no.
I'm going to show you what we'll mark as State's Exhibit 53, and it is on slide 5. Actually, it's the one provided to the court and the defense prior to the provision of the exhibit PowerPoint.
So it stays 53?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know where from.
You can.
may we approach the witness?
You may.
Oh.
Oh, damn, that was expensive.
I'm showing you, Ms. Bennett, make sure the sound is off. Stacy Exhibit 53. Do you recognize the persons reflected in Stacy Exhibit 53? Specifically at 7:24. Do you recognize the persons reflected in Stacy Exhibit 53?
Yes,
And how do you recognize them?
it's me.
Okay. And you recognize the person you are in that video with?
Yes,
Is this a fair and accurate representation of the people and places depicted in this video?
so what?
Is this a fair and accurate?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear.
Is this a fair and accurate depiction of the people and places depicted in this video?
Yes,
Your Honor, the state tender Stacy Exhibit 53 is evidence.
Any further objection to State 53 counsels?
Great suggestion, Your Honor.
All right, so noted. Well, it would say 53 would be admitted over objection and be published as you see.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, I don't have a problem with that, Your Honor.
No, okay, yes, it can be shown.
Alpha Alpha, my apologies.
You want to say something for the cameraman? It's for the tape, man. Hold on.
Ms. Bennett, who is the person we're looking at in the first
I'm gonna object as to relevance.
I'll rule the objection.
15 seconds of this video where we pause?
Jay.
Jay, is he also called Bloody Jay?
Yeah,
All right. Would you fast forward to 7 minutes and approximately 30 seconds? Seven, 20 seconds. Ms. Bennett, would you tell the jury who it is that we're looking at on the screen right now?
me and Jay.
And what is the caption underneath your image?
It say the real Lady LV.
And isn't it true that that was a social media handle that you used?
And I had so many social media, like so many people had fake pages on me. So I know there wasn't one of them though.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I had so many social media people make fake pages of me, and that probably was one of them.
Would you continue? Go back. So, Ms. Knight, would you rewind to seven minutes and 16 seconds, and just go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play it.
Hand gestures.
And what were those hand gestures meant to signify?
I'm not sure.
Ms. Knight, would you please back up about 3 seconds and freeze it on the hand gesture where she has both hands up? Back up further. Got one. What is that meant to signify, Ms. Bennett?
A bird?
A bird?
Yes.
What kind of bird?
I'm not, yeah, you don't have to be a green bird, red bird, or a yellow bird. Just a bird.
Why did you put up your fingers together to signify a bird in this moment?
Wow. I can't recall.
Ms. Bennett, do you have a 5-point star tattoo on your person?
Yes.
What is it meant to signify?
My father, 5th child.
And is that 5-point star red?
And green.
I'm sorry?
And green.
Which part is red?
The outer.
Continue.
The outer. Do I know what bird game is?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Have you ever had any affiliation with bird game?
Mm-mm.
Please continue. Over your eye.
Zone 3.
Zone 3.
Yes.
It was not a B.
No.
Go ahead. Back of your shirt. Do you need us to rewind it?
Yes.
Rewind it. What is that?
It said Lady LV for some. Think what it say.
Is there a 5 next to the A in that last word?
Yes.
Why is there 5 and not a letter there?
I'm not sure.
You'd agree that that's your shirt, right?
Yes, it gave it to me.
And you're wearing a shirt called Lady LV.
Yes.
Continue.
Just out here, man. You know, man. How we do? This is. Hey, man, what's up, my boy Frog, too, man? Shout out Frog. Hey, this is not a movie. What you say, Frog? This is actually what goes on. Hey, what the camera shot? What break? Are y'all ain't fucking with me? I got the camera.
Who is the person in the video with you now at 8 minutes in? To your immediate left.
Can you show the face?
Please remind us. Is that not Micah Anderson,
Yes,
your child's father?
yes.
You do not recognize him from behind?
Mm.
Continue.
What's your camera shot, nigga? What's practice? Are y'all ready? Fucking because I got the camera. What's practice? In the hood, nigga, what's practice? Whole lot, man. Really good. First name. Damn. One more time, man. What's practice? Hey, man. My brother, man, you know.
Your hands just now at 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Ms. Bennett. Do you need to see it again?
Yes.
Please rewind, Ms. Knight.
Go ahead, objection based on hearsay as well.
Your Honor, we're not offering anything for this.
I sustain it at, you can lay foundation, if you want to.
Your Honor, are we allowed to continue playing the portion that we have just introduced that she says that is her?
Not until you lay some more foundation.
Okay. Ms. Bennett, do you recognize these people in this video?
Yes.
And again, are these fair and accurate reflections of a day and time where you all were together and shooting this video?
Yes, I don't remember when.
Okay. Say that again. And,
Yes, I don't remember when.
and were the words that we hear coming out of your mouth words that you actually spoke?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, may we play the portion of Ms. Bennett and her speaking?
Your Honor, I would still pose an objection to the hearsay of other individuals speaking. That does not lay a foundation to introduce the
Your Honor, we're not hindering what other people are saying.
I'll rule the objection. You can play it.
Damn. One more time, man. What's practice? Hey, man.
Handshake.
What type of handshake?
I don't know. I just did what everybody else did.
Does this signify sex, money, murder in any way?
I'm not sure.
And is it your testimony that you don't know what sex, money, murder is?
Yes, I heard of it.
And is it your testimony that you've heard of it where?
In the streets.
You heard of it in this group that you're with, right?
Yes.
And in fact, you referred to Pistol Pete in this video, don't you?
I'm not sure.
You know who Pistol Pete is, right?
No.
So if you're referring to Pistol Pete, do you know who you'd be referring to?
No. You said I'm referring to him. I don't know who he is.
My brother, man, you know. Jojo, man, you know. Monster Joey. I'm flatlander. What they say they don't know how far. I ain't say, come out of one. Yeah, man. We out here, man. You know what I mean? Be that hawk. Somebody better tell them about the hawk.
And Ms. Bennett, when I asked you earlier on direct whether Donovan Thomas was ABG, is this the same ABG that you were referring to?
What you mean? Is this the same?
Was the ABG reflected in the articles of clothing in this video the same ABG that Donovan Thomas was a member of?
Yes.
Flatlander, man. Digging a rap, man. So you beat me out? You try that fuck shit. Let her know. You know, right there all the time. I'm gonna be a better day. We're right there at all times. Yeah. So you know, this shit bigger out.
Ms. Bennett, do you recognize the person? Could you back up just a little bit to the far left of the screen, next to Jay?
No,
Had you ever seen him before that day?
not sure.
Isn't he the person you're in a photograph with that has already been admitted as evidence?
Not that I know of.
Would you continue to play until
So you know, this shit bigger out. I throw all this shit out on the back. I want to represent homie. Know what I mean? This what it gonna be like, baby. You hear it on that, man? You know what I mean? For real. It's a little party, man. A little party. Yeah, a little party, man. Free show goons. My little brother. Free.
and still you don't recognize, you didn't recognize the person with the red bandana on that I was asking about?
No, they covered up, no.
Have you heard the name Trontavious Stevens?
No,
Have you heard the name Kit or Slug?
no.
Just one moment. Do you know? You never told anyone to take that handle down at the Real Lady V that was on this video, did you?
No, I ain't even never look at it.
And do you know approximately when it was that that video
No,
was shot? Would it have been before 2015?
I'm not sure.
Did you say that you were in prison from 2015 forward?
Yes.
Okay. So with that in mind, would it have been before 2015?
Oh, yes.
I think that that's all, Your Honor. Let me check. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all that I have for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want to take 5 minutes before we? Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute comfort break, and we'll go ahead and continue the witness examination at that time. We're in recess.